Sam Bankman-Fried became a player, not just because of his whatever crypto and hedge fund and Alameda and FTT tokens. He became a player because he had millions of dollars to give to the political system. That's how he insinuated himself. And he did it as much as he's doing his Chauncey Gardner routine now in all of his interviews. Like, I don't know how this happened. I just woke up. The intention was, I think, to corrupt the parts of the system that he knew needed to be corrupted for him to carry on his scheme.
Of course.
Unfettered.
Yeah, all this comes down to transparency, right? Mm-hmm. Where there is no transparency, there is extraordinary risk. And we all try to shortcut things through trust, through brands, etc. And whether it's, authoritative regimes, whether it's the United States, whether it's dealing with digital, whether it's dealing with AI, whether it's dealing with pharmaceuticals, where you find opacity and lack of transparency, you're going to find fraud at one level or another. And so when it comes to legislating any of this, it comes down to who's willing to keep the kimono open. And so where we can legislate for transparency, where you have to disclose all these things, because it's digital, it's easier to disclose, it's easier to review, it's easier to analyze, but we have no transparency. And as long as that's the case, SBF can do what he did. Just like Donald Trump used to say, yeah, I know these politicians because I gave them all this money and they'll do what I said. The game.
But isn't it a matter of degree, though? Because when you think about, okay, there's no transparency we knew that this guy was giving people money. But I think when the Supreme Court redefined corruption as it must be explicit quid pro quo, we lost a really great tool at rooting out this kind of insinuation. And I'll go even further. When I look at the intricate workings of Wall Street, it doesn't look that much different from the shit that Sam Bankman-Fried pulled.
Of course not.
And that the legalized corruption that we have in this country looks very similar to, everybody wants to go, well, that was clearly a Ponzi scheme. Well, how the fuck is it different from a lot of the stuff that I see at the heart of congressional stock trades and conflict of interest on Wall Street and payment for order flows and all that other shit that goes on there?
It's not different. I mean, money buys power, period, end of story. And once you get it, there's different ways of confirming it. In the case of Elon, he buys the platform. In the case of Sam Bankman-Fried, he bought politicians. And particularly in an area that people don't fully understand, like crypto. I heard this line the other day. It takes a couple of frauds to pop a bubble, right? A financial bubble. It took Enron and WorldCom MCI. Now it's going to take, what we saw with Sam and with Terra and Luna and all the others there, and Three Arrows Capital. So now crypto will get its act together, but we don't have the equivalent in government. We don't have the equivalent in politics yet. Everybody's still corrupted. And you talk about domination. It's a two-party system. It's the easiest system in the world to dominate, because if you can rise to power in one of the two, you have half the power. And until we change it.
But that's just America.
Yeah, I get it.
The system is now globalized. Yeah. And, when you look at the largest donations,
they call the president the leader of the free world for a reason. And that's within a two-party structure. So there's a duopoly. And you have a 50% chance, if you can get the top of either one of them, to be the most powerful person in the world. Sounds like a commercial, but that's an inherent.